So here we are in a 2021 Zone RV base. It's a 20'6" van. It's a couples van. These guys started talking to us, I reckon probably 9 months ago when they first started talking to us. They were talking about, you know, all the options with whether they were going to buy a new van or a second-hand van or whatever they decided to do. So in the end, they decided to buy a second-hand van. This one they bought from a couple that had spent quite a significant amount of time traveling. So they also then, once they picked the van up, they did a little bit of time testing a few things out, trying to work out what they needed, what they didn't, all that sort of stuff. So they came to the conclusion that what was already in the van was insufficient for them. They wanted a few extra things done to their van. So as a standard package, this particular van comes with you know, a good quality system to start off with. It had an RV80 board from Enerdrive, which is a 40 amp AC charger and a DCDC charger. Now the DCDC is being used as the solar regulator as well. So the limitation with that is that you only get solar recharge when you're not traveling. So it's one or the other. It has a 2600 watt inverter already in it as well, and they did have 400 amp hour BTEC batteries, which, as you can see, are down there on the floor, which are going to be replaced with a 620 amp hour LifeTek battery. So what we've done to this van is upgraded their battery, as you can see, and brought that up to the latest requirements of the standard. We've added in 2 solar regulators. We've upgraded their solar on the roof. Now, when we were upgrading the solar on the roof, the plan was always to put 5 panels on the roof. We worked out we could put 6 200 watt panels, but the intention was we were going to keep the original 180 watt Enerdrive panels that were up there. So when we were testing, we actually found that there was a little bit of an issue with the array. The cabling was a touch undersized for the low voltage panels that were up there, and there was a connector that was actually burnt and melted, so we're actually underperforming on the solar array, which would have absolutely been limiting the amount of solar recharge they were getting from their existing setup. So what we've done is we've replaced them with 6 200 watt high voltage panels, put a couple of 50 amp Victron controllers down under the seat here. What we've also done is replaced the ePro battery monitor with a Cymarine system, so they get full visibility on solar, DC-DC portable panels. We've also added some tank monitoring in for this one because they didn't have tank monitoring in. They only were monitoring the grey water tank. So now they're monitoring the 2 fresh, 1 grey. Plus, in addition to that, we've added 2 additional freshwater tanks in front. These guys spent a bit of time working out their weights and what they can tow and how heavy the van was and all that sort of stuff. And they actually worked out that they're a little bit light on ball weight. So they wanted some extra weight added. So that's a little bit unusual from a caravanning perspective because most people are heavy. This van isn't, so they're lucky with that, and they were able to add an extra couple of water tanks. So they're now carrying 360 litres of water, I think, underneath, which is a nice amount of water. We've set that up with the Cymarine system, so they're monitoring all of that, all the tanks. So as you can see, we've got 1 2 3 fresh. We've also got 4 fresh and 1 grey, so they were monitoring 5 tanks with the Cymarine system. We also obviously monitor all of our regular bits and pieces in here. So with the tanking system as well, this van from factory has actually been set up with the option to have a 3rd tank put into it. So we've, you know, most of the hardware was already pretty much there. We've added some extra fill points and some extra hosing into the manifold underneath the sink here, which allows them to select all the different tanks. The other thing that we did for these guys is they are going to be traveling full-time eventually, but not yet. So they wanted the option of having Starlink. So we've put a pass-through on the outside, and we've got a Starlink cable or an RJ45 up here in the overhead cupboard ready to go for when they need to add their either Starlink Mini or Gen 3 Starlink. They're not sure which way they're going to go. So that gives them both options to be able to do that. So that's a bit of future-proofing for them. So as I sort of mentioned, we've brought their system up to the latest regulations with battery. So this battery is fully sealed, vented outside. Battery isolator, which most vans don't have even at this level of van. So battery isolator, we've got full isolation on solar now, and obviously all the solar panels are fused as well. 2 individual solar regulators, plus the option for the DC-DC charger to have a portable plugged into it, which we actually do have at the moment. We've been doing some testing with the air conditioner and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so the other couple of things that we've done for these guys is we actually added an extra power point in the overhead cupboard so they could have, you know, some ability to plug bits and pieces in that they wanted to plug in, laptops and all those sorts of things, plus another USB or a USB up here in the overhead cupboard. So that's good to go. So yeah, this van now, it's had a really good upgrade done to it. This has brought this van up to a really high spec now. So these vans are already at the higher end of a caravan that you buy. It's got, you know, Cruise Master air suspension underneath it. You know, it already had a decent system as we've discussed. It's stone bench tops, all that sort of nice stuff. So it is a reasonably high spec van. So to do this to this van makes a lot of sense. A lot more flexibility with where they can go now, how long they can be off grid with extra water and all that sort of stuff. All right, so this van came with 400 amp hour battery, 2600 watt inverter, DC-DC and a 40 amp charger with 540 watts of solar on the roof. We've taken the 540 off, we've added 1200 on the roof, a couple of extra solar regulators, 620 amp hour battery, replacing the 400 amp hour battery to give them a little bit extra capacity. Completely replaced the monitoring package with Cymarine, put all that into the overhead cupboard. Starlink modification, extra tanks, tanking system monitored through Cymarine, extra power points, extra socket, extra USBs. So this van is now ready to go. Alright guys, cheers, thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next one.